Fred Film Radio, this is Gianluca de Angelis from the 20th edition, the Rome Film Fest, and I'm very happy to be here with the Mary Bronstein and Rose Byrne, director and main actress of If I Had Legs, I'd Kick You, presented here at the festival. So the movie is very interesting because it balances different points of view, and I think that it can be seen in different ways, mainly because I think the narrator is unreliable, and it's interesting that everything can be questioned and everything can be seen both grinning a little bit, but also covering your eyes in horror. Like the thing that comes to the mind, that the first is the hamster sequence, for example.
Yes.
So I wanted to start from Mary. So how did you balance these two aspects mainly?
It was difficult. The tone that I'm trying to go for is exactly what you're talking about. And to me, it reflects life. So my personality, the way I grew up, is very much that in crisis, in stress, in the worst of times, using humor to cope. And so anything I write is going to have humor in it. And what I thought of this film as really is a kind of like a machine that's chugging along, and the machine is containing all of the tragedy, the drama, the pain, the frustration, all of those difficult feelings that you're talking about. And in order to get the audience or get the machine to go all the way to the end, and we're going through some very uncomfortable, some very dark places, I used humor as a sort of like releasing steam from the machine, and giving also at very specific points to give the audience a bit of release. Sometimes, we laugh when we're uncomfortable, and sometimes we laugh when something is truly humorous. And I think that I give the audience both of those kinds of laughters. But if I didn't do that, if I didn't release and give the film a little bit of that and give the viewer that experience, I think that the machine would have exploded and we would never be able to get to the end. And so on a script level, it became very calculated. But then in executing it, it's so much working with the performers to make sure that those beats are hit. And it's not jokes like you're talking about with the hamster sequence. It's not that it's humor that's based in joke telling.
Yeah, sure.
It's visual humor, it's behavioral humor, and sometimes it's just humor of a dynamic, of a look, that one character might give another. But to me, it's an essential element of the film.
And about this, Rose, your performance is stunning, because there is this camera that just follows you, and it's like 2 inches from your face the whole time. But then again, we have these moments of breathing that leave a little bit of space. So how did you manage to act like the whole film with the camera following you so closely, so close to your face even?
It was a tightrope, absolutely, and the tone of the film is a real tightrope. But to Mary's, explanation, this humor has to keep you with this story, sort of thing. And I guess my job was, as performing Linda, was trying to find those moments of absurdity and really exploring them and seeing how far we could go. Because you can't go too far in that, because it's not going to feel realistic, and the stakes are so high. And when the stakes are that high, it can be funny, because humor and comedy and drama come from the same place. For me, as performance, it's exactly, in fact, comedy's harder, because it's much more subjective. What I think's funny, you might not think is funny. We can all collectively agree what is sad, what is a sad situation, but trying to find those absurd moments. But I like Mary, I think life is like that. I'm always laughing at things that are inappropriate, or finding humor in moments that might not necessarily, that are more a darker kind of side of things. But I think that's something that I'm very interested in performance and in life.
There is this search for escapism through alcohol,
Yes,
through
yeah,
breathing,
yeah,
through
yeah.
running away from
Literally
places.
running,
Yeah.
yes, yeah.
But places and disruption of places themselves follow the protagonist. You know, that the
Yes.
house trembles away and the waves just follow the protagonist, and it's amazing how the surroundings mirrors the interior of the
Yes.
psychic of the protagonist. So, how did you think about mirroring in the surroundings, in the places,
Yeah.
the powerlessness of parenthood of today? So,
Yeah.
in a world that is constantly mutating, as it is in the film, what are the challenges that new parents must face today, do you think?
So many. Rose and I are the same age, and I think that the way that we experience childhood and the way that our parents parented us is so different than the expectations of today. For example, when I was growing up in the 80s in America, it was not expected that your parents would be following you around the playground, being on the swings with you. It was your mother would sit on a bench and read a book while you went and played. I would get on my bike and go bike riding with my friends for hours, and my parents wouldn't know where I was, and then I'd come back. In the summer, I remember it was a thing, go outside. You're not allowed back in the house. These were normal ways of childhood. Today, the expectation is that we should be, it's almost like a overcorrecting, where it's like we need to be playing with our child all the time. We need to be paying attention to our child all the time. We have to be with the child all the time. If your child is climbing on the playground structure, you're climbing on the playground structure. You're going down the slide too. And there's some joy to be had in that. But then when you're surrounded by those expectations and other mothers and people judging you, it can become sometimes overwhelming and very difficult to find space for yourself as an individual human being that's separate from your role as a mother. And what I was trying to do in the film, as you so beautifully were talking about, was that feeling of where the whole universe feels like it's against you. You know, she wants wine. The girl won't give her the wine. She wants to finally find a final escape into the ocean. It won't let her in. This represents that feeling.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I think that the need for escapism is a huge part of the film, and parenting is, it's always going to be challenging.
Yeah.
It's always going to be hard, whether
Yeah.
it's for our parents or the parents today. I mean, now it's less freedom for kids, especially if you're raising kids in the city, but then now kids find freedom online. And that's the challenge. It's like, how do you police that? But that's where they sort of find their freedom now, because it's less being outside and unsupervised, which is such
They're trying to get away from us.
Yeah, exactly. It's like such an integral part of their development,
Yeah.
increasingly people say, which is obvious, but that now it's turned to being online is where you can really be free. And then how do you monitor that? And how do you monitor that as a community? Because it's a community issue, because it has to be, because it becomes about peer pressure. So you have to all have a collective conversation with other parents that begins earlier and earlier. You know, my kids are younger than Mary's, but it's already beginning for me. So that's it's a whole new challenge that is sort of feeling a little insurmountable at this stage.
And I think, like in the movie where Linda is saying, "Tell me what to do,"
we're still saying
saying that about all these things. There's no
guardrails.
There's no instruction manual.
Yeah.
You know.
And one last question about the title. So,
Yes.
What is the title standing for, or how should the viewers read it?
Well, I think that, everybody will have their own interpretation, but as I'm learning from going to different festivals and talking with people from different cultures, not every culture has this phrase that we have in America that I'm playing off of. It's a word play off of. And the phrase that we have is, you don't have a leg to stand on. And if I was to say that to you, that's an insult. I would be saying to you, you don't have any credibility. Nothing you're saying is worth my time. and like the wind could just blow you over. You have nothing. And so it's a word play on that, where I'm, from the character's point of view, she has neither leg. She's got nothing. She's floating in the ether. And but if she was grounded, if she did get her legs, she has a rage inside of her. She'd use it to kick you away.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you to Mary Bronstein and Rose Byrne, director and main actress of If I Had Legs, I'd Kick You, presented here at the 20th edition of the Rome Film Fest. And I'm Gianluca De Angelis, and this is Fred, the Festival Insider. Thanks again.